Hello there,
Yeah.
Gia.
Hello, Keisha. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's good on this Monday or whenever you're listening, I guess.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
I mean, how
Sort of.
many posts did you see about with the mayonnaise in the sink today?
I I guess not as many as you, thankfully.
I
We
just
run
have
in
cornier
slightly
friends.
different
Yeah.
circles. Yeah. Although my circle is no great shakes either.
No. Did you have a
No.
lot of May the Fourth be with you on
Oh,
the
there
day
was some of
before?
that. Yeah, there was some of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was telling Gia a little bit earlier. Anybody who knows that I got scammed by somebody pretending to be Ricky Gervais, I don't know if this will be startling, but somebody else tried to scam me. And this time it was on an app called Blue Sky, which I really kind of
Oh,
liked.
that's supposed to be like the safer, nicer place to be,
Yeah,
right?
it does
Yeah.
overall feel like kind of a nice, gentle social media platform. You can actually learn about stuff. It's not a lot of like back and forth, like no hostility really. Everybody's kind of on the same side, I would say. But this guy who claimed to be this country musician named Brian Kelly sent me a message, and I thought, well, that's kind of strange. Where would he have, come across my profile or anything? But I've also noticed that there are guys on this platform who just seem to be looking for a woman, and they may not be
Hmm.
scammers. They might just be desperate men, which is kind of equally unpleasant. But anyway, so I was sort of like chatting with this guy, sort of trying to be polite and figure out if he was a decent guy or a real guy. And he is on Spotify. There's a real Brian Kelly who's a country artist who's going to be touring and playing in St. Pete of all places.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, in August. But then he said something about he said, "What time do you go to bed? I'll text you after I'm done with my meeting." And he said, "Don't sleep off on me." And sleep off was an expression that the Ricky Gervais imposter had used. And it kind of means like, don't go to sleep on me, but it's not something that we use in the States. And so when I discovered that this first imposter was not who he said he was, that expression was like very loud in my mind as sort of a red flag of that this person wasn't, who he said he was. So I replied to this comment and I said, the scammer that I dealt with before I met you used that same expression. And he said, "Would you elaborate?" And I was like, I think you're a scammer. I don't believe you're who you say you are. And then I stopped
He
talking to
wanted you
him.
to elaborate so that he would be a little smoother with his next victim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then he like I stopped replying and he started like sort of like breaking down like the definition of a scammer, and it kind of seemed like he had fed it into chat gpt or something, and it was like it was really weird and fucked up, and then he deleted his Blue Sky profile. So
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he wasn't the real deal. But I don't know anybody out there, and I know what it's like to sort of be alone and kind of think it would be great to have company or even just somebody to talk to, but just be really, really careful because it seems like they're all over the place, and there's a lot of ways to get to you. So that's
Huh, all
that's
right.
my
Well,
deal.
I pondered getting a Blue Sky profile, but
Mm.
you've convinced me that I don't really need one.
Well, and it wouldn't be, I think, as useful for you as a musician to promote your stuff. It doesn't
No,
seem
I
like
just
it's
wanted to
really
see
used
what it
for
was all
that.
about because everybody was kind of all about like I'm getting off Facebook and I'm going to be on Blue Sky and
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think it is. I do like it better than Facebook because you can kind of sort of curate your feed a little bit more. You don't get a bunch of
yeah.
random like posts in your feed so much, but still people can message you and stuff. So nothing's 100% safe, I guess.
It
And
isn't. Well, I'm glad you were wise and
well,
stopped that guy in his tracks there.
I don't know. If he'd been hotter or funnier, it probably would have been a different story.
But he like who was he was probably he might have been some horrible ugly old woman somewhere. You don't know. I mean,
Yeah, could have been. Could
you
have
just
been.
mean his fake picture. If his fake picture was hotter, then
Right, right. Well, it was a picture of the real guy, but,
yeah,
whoever was behind it, yeah, probably not so hot. Probably not even a country artist.
probably not. Probably not. I
Anywho,
don't know. Do these people work in teams somewhere? Do they work in like
I feel like
warehouses where
they
they're
I wonder if they have some sort of like a syndicate or something where they share
yeah,
information, and tricks of the trade and stuff like that, so,
yeah, yeah.
you know? But, I
Jeez.
still
Okay.
it just I just find it just so hard to believe that this is what people choose to do, to just mess with people like that. It's very
Yeah,
disturbing to me.
it's disturbing and it's a crappy way to make a buck. I don't, it's
Yeah, yeah, right. 'Cause, that
but yeah, you
anyway.
gotta guard yourself. Gotta
Gotta
guard
guard
yourself.
yourself, Gia, yeah.
Yep.
Somebody else tried to get me to get on, an online dating site, and, I just
You mean somebody on Blue Sky was trying to
no,
talk
no,
to you?
no, no,
Oh,
no, one of my
oh,
friends at the
oh, oh,
library,
oh! I see what you mean.
she's
Just
like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she said, "That's the way to meet people these days. Everybody's doing it," and it's like, "Yeah, I tried that, like, 30 years ago, and I it wasn't good," and so I created a profile on Match.com, and I didn't post it. I just, like, created it so I could see, like, who's
Who's
around,
out
you
there?
know?
Yeah.
Oh god, now I get these emails every day like, "This I think Brad might be the one for you," and then you look at these guys and they look like they probably shoot squirrels, and that's not what I'm looking for, so I don't know, and I don't want, like, all the squirrel hunters around here to know that I'm available, so I think I'm
Oh,
I'm I'm done with that too, I think.
oh my goodness.
Mm.
These are all cautionary tales today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't do what I do or well, maybe do it differently. Unless you like a squirrel hunter, then, maybe say you live around here because there's a lot of them around
A
here, I
lot of
think.
squirrels, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like a
Chipmunk.
nice little squirrel. I don't want them getting shot.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Should
I'm
we
sorry, I'm sorry.
it's all right. No, no, that's good PSA. Uh
You got your colonoscopy
right,
PSA, and
right.
then mine
Yeah.
is something else, yeah.
Yeah. Avoid the
Mhm,
scammers.
mhm.
But we could talk about General Hospital if you want.
Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's
All
give that a
right.
try. Okay.
With stuff's cooking. Stuff's happening.
Stuff is happening, although I felt like we had such a nice like, we were riding such a high on Thursday, you
With
know?
all the Drew belly shot stuff,
Yeah,
all that.
yeah, and then it started to, like, get undone, right?
Yeah, really fast.
Really fast, yeah, yeah.
With you mean with the Willow situation, like Willow instantly believing him, and then now we've already got
Mhm.
the drug test results.
Right, right, yep, and yeah, no
And
time even to tamper with the results, so Portia was
no, I
asleep at the
know.
wheel there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, that's moving along. I didn't
Mhm,
understand the advice today that the nurse gave him to check his phone to see where he'd been. The whole world
mhm.
knew where he'd been because it was all
Yeah.
on video.
I know,
Like,
didn't he just the I know, I guess he was thinking if he only saw, like, the belly shots part and didn't know where he'd been before that because it was still foggy in his mind, maybe he thought,
yeah, I
like,
guess that might
something
help
would
him a bit.
trigger, like, an interaction that would explain the ketamine. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was that was a little muddled for me too because it did seem like he was seeing locations in his mind
yeah,
and then
he
also
saw
in
that
the
he was with
video.
Tracy,
So,
and yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
it was kind
yeah,
of weird, but
they didn't do that very well, I
I
guess.
thought I'd missed some aspect of it or something. But
No.
mm.
No. It's so
Anyway,
hard. Yeah.
and then we had Carly going to Nina, and at first she's elated with what Nina's
Mhm.
done.
So quickly. Yes, so
Yeah, and then
quickly
it
that
turned,
turned.
yeah, and I was like, how wonderful she and Nina are going to be friends now. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
but then it's like turns to shit just so
Mhm.
fast.
So fast, 'cause Carly's well, she's more of a pro, I guess, at this sort of thing than Nina, maybe, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Carly hasn't dabbled in this for a while, but yeah, I guess
Right,
she's
right.
done more of this kind of work.
Mhm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Nina just didn't foresee every possible outcome, but she's seeing it
yeah,
now, and she's
yep.
making more worried faces. Like,
She is.
I don't know how she does it. They get different. They're a little different all the time, but
Yeah, yeah, poor Nina.
yeah.
She did mean well.
And
Uh,
she almost, I thought she was about to,
yeah.
reveal the whole like I did
Mhm.
the
Right,
nasty
right.
with Drew, but
Yeah, I
still
know.
hasn't come out. So now we've
No.
got that secret, plus we've got
Mm.
the Drew calling and screwing up the visit with Michael. So those two
Yes.
secrets
Yes, mhm.
could be his undoing. We just got to have them happen.
Right, mhm. Yeah,
'Cause
I
Willow's just
know.
digging in deeper. She's digging her heels in like crazy with Drew, and
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
I
'Cause
don't
I
know.
think also she's not getting any really objective advice. Everybody who's talking to her has their own sort of agenda, you know?
Yeah,
And I not that she would necessarily listen to anyone except for Drew because there's too much on the line, I guess.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
you know.
I do. I have a modicum of sympathy for her
Ooh,
at this point, though.
I
Yeah,
do too, a modicum.
yeah.
Yes,
That's
good
it.
word.
Because she did this to herself, of course,
She did, yeah, and
basically.
when right, I was kinda hoping that when she mentioned that Michael wouldn't see her, that more would be made of that, but Carly kind of accepted that he would behave that way, you know?
Yeah, which doesn't really sound like Michael.
It doesn't, I would think he'd hear her out,
Yeah.
especially if she traveled all the way to Germany, but Baden-Baden.
Baden-Baden. Uh, so anyway, yeah, that was kind of a downer.
Mhm.
And then I don't, did you rewatch Friday? Do you have any fresh memory of what happened on?
Well, my overall impression of both episodes was that they were noisy. There was a lot of yelling, which
Yeah,
I didn't need all the yelling, but I can't remember who was yelling the most on Friday. Was that like when did all the Lulu, Dante, uh
I guess that was happening both days.
was
The
it?
one thing that
Yeah.
strikes me about Lulu's house is apparently it's a kind of house where you just walk in.
Yep, yep, you just
Everybody
walk
just
in.
walks in. Nobody rings the
Mhm.
doorbell or knocks.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
like
Mhm.
initially we said, yeah, Dante, okay, maybe understandable, but then Carly just walks in today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't even know
Yeah.
yet why she went there. Like,
Right, that was a little weird, unless it was to congratulate her on the Drew story, you know?
yeah, and they've kind of it's I mean, I'm okay with it, but they've kind of made Lulu and Carly closer cousins than remember them ever being.
Me too,
Um,
and when Carly sort of brought up the whole Brook Lynn thing, I was like, "Oh, so Lulu told her all of that." I couldn't remember that she had told
yeah,
her
yeah,
everything, you
right. I
know?
know. I was a little shocked too. I was like, "Oh, right, yeah."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but they're closer than I remember, kind of in the same way that Lucas and Carly like suddenly are like
Right.
tight, and it's
Right.
like I don't
Yeah.
think they were before, but that's okay. I can
Mhm.
go with that. They need to change
Mhm.
the landscape now and then, but
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So let's dig into Lulu.
Okay. Yeah.
Why have they decided to just make this character one of the most unlikable people in the world?
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to sort of feel her side of things, but I think everybody's kinda right that she's got an axe to grind, and that's coloring, like, her behavior, it's not
Kind of
about what's
right.
right,
What do you mean? kind of right. They're completely right.
Yeah, I guess she doesn't have, like, do you think she's 100% wanting to tell Dante? I think Carly said, because she wants to be the one to tell him. I think
Yes,
that's the
yes,
biggest piece of it. She wants to be the one to tell him. She doesn't really
yeah.
care, yeah,
She's
about
trying to,
anything else, really.
yeah, she's just trying to like stick it to Brook
Mhm.
Lynn one more time, yet again, just
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
but like this obsession with it with somebody else's life like that.
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
why is she so obsessed?
Right, I know,
Is
I
it
thought
just like her life is crap still? But it's not. That's the
it's
thing.
not. She's s barely working, and she's got a nice house.
I mean, yeah,
That's everybody's dream.
I kind of, was it Dante that said something about
Yeah,
like you've
he
been
I was
given
gonna
this
say,
gift of
literally a second chance, yeah, at
yeah,
life,
and
yeah,
here's what you're choosing to do with it. And I was thinking,
exactly, yeah,
yeah,
mhm,
yeah, I kind of get that because sometimes I look at people like their lives and
mhm,
they're and it's like you've been given this life
mhm,
and this is what
mhm,
you're
yeah,
this is how you're choosing. It's like
mhm,
it's just there's a lot of
mhm,
people that have shit that happens to them that they have no choice about,
mhm,
uh, health things or whatever, and it's
yeah,
like then you see people squandering their lives, and it's like, well,
mhm,
too bad they
mhm,
can't give it to that other, like I don't
yeah,
know, and
swap,
I feel that
right,
way about Lulu because she's just
mhm, mhm.
like this obsession with Brook Lynn is like ruining her.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I feel like I don't want her to end up with Dante. He deserves better than
yeah, he
Lulu, you
deserves
know?
way better than her, and I don't
Yeah,
feel any when he said he was still in love with her, is like, really?
yeah, yeah, I
I'm
know.
not
But
seeing it, dude.
which part, buddy?
Yeah, like
Mhm.
because yeah, and earlier he said something about you've been like he didn't say pain in the ass ever since you woke up,
Right,
but
right,
it was
yeah.
something to that
Uh-huh,
effect, and
right,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yeah, she really has.
yeah,
She
mhm,
kind of hit the ground running, and she's just been like a tornado with this whole thing.
mhm, yeah, he had some
Um,
good lines. He was really trying, I think, to be as diplomatic as he could, but also honest with her.
yeah, and I thought Carly was in the same way that Laura
Mhm.
laid it on the line for
Mhm.
her.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, Laura was a little bit more, soft and kind because she's her mother.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Um, and Carly was a little bit more like just told the truth. Like, this is not
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
story to tell. It's not your
Mhm.
business. It's not your place. There's
Yep,
nothing about this
yep.
that you need to
Mhm.
be involved in. And
Yeah.
she's just not hearing it. I don't know.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, Carly's point that it'll change Lulu's life.
Mhm.
Like, that's what she needs to hear. It's not just, you're not just going to be messing with other people's lives, but how they perceive her
Mhm.
will, she would change her relationships with all those people by doing this.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how deep that would run in people's, opinion of her. I mean, I think it's true, it would change her life for maybe reasons that we can't even anticipate. Like, first, the relationship between Dante and Brook Lynn would change. Who knows if it would be for the worse initially and then for the better, we don't know. But it would sort of kind of block Lulu out because Dante would want to be spending more time with Geo and stuff. So, he would just naturally be spending more time with the Quartermains and stuff, and Lulu wouldn't really fit into that
Right,
quite,
that could be the end result. But I was just thinking, like, do you think Dante would say thank you for telling me this, or do you think he'd be like, what a shitty thing to do
Yeah, I probably,
to
yeah, more of that, because yeah, I was thinking he doesn't even know what he's missing right now, and
I
sure, if he finds out, he'll wish he had spent those years with Geo, but, that's kind of neither
I
here
don't, I
nor
just think
there
it's
in a
such
way.
a shitty thing to do to Brook Lynn, to like hold
Yeah,
this secret
yeah,
over her head
yeah,
and be dangling
definitely.
all this information out there and hinting at
Mhm.
it to all these people in town.
Right, right,
And
yeah. Mhm.
I just think it's super shitty of
It's
her.
very, very shitty. Yeah.
Uh,
It
I've,
is. It
I've had
is.
it with her. I liked her initially, and now I'm like,
I know. Now she's just like, that's it. That's all that she's about.
that's what her life is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I don't want to. Have you been reading any online stuff about the storyline with Rocco?
I have not.
Hmm.
Is there a spoiler alert that we need to know
Well,
about?
we don't know. No, it's just people guessing about what the storyline might be.
Oh, I see. So they're gonna do some blood work or something and find out that he's somebody else?
Not Rocco, but if you think about, so Rocco's in the hospital now,
Mhm, yeah,
um, with alcohol poisoning. But if something
right.
goes bad, what if Rocco
Oh, needs
the
something, yeah,
yeah,
mhm, mhm,
the
mhm,
classic, oh,
and
we
it's
better
gonna
reveal
turn
who's,
out
yeah.
he's Franco?
What?
Well, if he's not it turns out what, he's not related to either Dante or
No, no, no.
Lulu?
That he'll need something, an organ or something
Right,
from his
right, right.
half brother.
Oh, from his
Geo,
brother,
yeah.
okay. Ah. Oh,
Ah.
ah! Wouldn't it be more fun if he was Franco, though?
It would be great to get Franco back, yes. But
Although we really want that actor back, we want Roger back.
yeah. Dude, maybe we should take an interlude and talk about horses for a minute.
I was wondering when you were gonna break in with the horse talk.
Well, we had a big horse weekend, right?
Oh, the Derby, yeah, I can't get behind the Kentucky Derby. That seems terrible.
What?
With horses, they shoot them and stuff if they're, if they, like, sprain an ankle or something, that just doesn't
That was a
seem right.
movie. They shoot horses, don't they? Um,
I don't know. Can a
uh,
horse lover really support horse racing? Hello?
I don't think about it that hard. I just look at the pretty horses.
Okay. Alright. Alright.
But
So
the
you
horse I
enjoyed
wanted
that
to
then.
talk about was not one of the racehorses, it was one of the
Oh.
lead ponies. Now, I've told you about lead ponies before.
Yeah. 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 Go
I've
ahead.
been down this
Go ahead.
rabbit hole ever
I
since
I
the
I
Derby.
got I got about 6 minutes of my nonsense, so go
Uh,
ahead, Gio. The clock is ticking now. You'll not get a minute more.
so I'm watching them bring them in, and so the lead ponies, for those that don't know, are they pick these, usually like quarter horses or a calm breed of horse to like settle the race horses as they lead them up to the chutes where they're gonna, because the race horses are all nuts.
So, like,
Um,
if Dante were a horse, he might be a lead horse.
he would be like a lead pony, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, solid, dependable. So
Mhm.
anyway, I'm watching them and I'm watching the lead ponies, and there's this one chunky, beautiful, like looks like a draft horse, but it's an Appaloosa. I'm like, wow, you do not see that frequently.
Did you have
Forever.
anyone to say that to? Does the
I was
husband
saying it to
humor you when
people.
you said were you at a bar or something?
No, we were at our little clubhouse, our little park had a little
Oh,
gathering.
okay.
You
Uh-huh.
know, I lost
Mhm.
$5. Anyway, the horse I picked, the number, it was like 40 to 1 odds. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I'm looking this horse up. I'm like, because you do not see like a chunky like draft horse, you see Appaloosa, you just don't.
Mhm.
So this horse's name is Harley. He's got his own
Mhm.
fan club. He's got a Briar horse of his own. Like that's a
Oh,
plastic
ooh,
collectible horse,
yeah, I
I'm like,
remember,
that's
yeah,
not,
mhm,
yeah.
mm.
And like he's a superstar in his own right. And he's the breed he is a, get this, a sugar bush harlequin draft horse. Isn't
Oh,
that
boy.
fabulous?
Wow. I
They crossed up, I think, a Percheron and an Appaloosa and got these, and they're pretty incredible. Some of them.
yeah, mhm, okay.
I can tell.
Harley the Magnificent? Yep, here we go.
Yeah,
All right, I'm Googling him. Oh, he's been around. He's older, right? Because the thing I'm looking at is from 2015.
I guess so. Yeah, he's incredible
Wow.
though. I mean, and
Harley
you
is a
see how
fool.
chonky he is?
Well, I'm looking at him as a youngster. I can't
Okay.
believe he got me Googling horses. Now my feed is gonna be all fucked up. It's gonna be like 3 ingredient vinaigrettes and Harley the horse.
Harley, yeah. Anyway,
2,100 pounds. Oh, in 2021. Yeah. Okay. The biggest pony at Churchill Downs. That was
he's handsome,
2021.
huh?
Yeah. I like his little freckly butt.
That's the Appaloosa part.
All right. I don't like talking like this. I don't like this side of myself.
I like his freckly butt.
I'm going to edit that part out.
That's what she said. I like his freckly butt. Anyway, that's I'm all done. I'm all done. I just thought that was the biggest thrill for me watching the
Uh-huh.
race was like I
Uh-huh.
didn't know about that breed. It's a newer breed.
Okay. Okay.
I'm kind of excited about it.
Lost me again. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to support you in this endeavor. I don't know how. Don't know how.
It's okay. I sent you a picture of the Briar horse.
I know you did.
I'm also getting a lot of that in my feed now. My Facebook thing thinks I'm a 12-year-old girl that's collecting plastic horses, which I was, but and I could be again.
Oh, geez. If anybody's still with us, bless your hearts.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
anybody made it to the 26-minute mark, there.
It was a fun race, though, if anybody watched it, because it was so muddy. Like the horses, by the end, they all looked exactly alike. They were just covered in mud
Oh, they
and
all had
all
freckly
mud
butts,
colored.
huh?
Yeah.
Mm,
Anyway,
mm.
okay, back to hospital. I'm all done. Got it out of my
Okay,
system.
okay. That was a good break. Okay,
Where were
so
we?
well, we had a lot of yelling, a lot of yelling. Oh, we had the conversation between Brooklyn and Tracy. That was Friday, wasn't it? Yeah, that
Oh
was
yeah,
Friday. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about what they're doing with Tracy's character and whether we can
Mhm.
um, get
Support it.
behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have no
Mhm.
choice,
Right.
obviously.
Mhm.
Won't listen to us, but I thought, and
Mhm.
maybe I don't know how you felt, but I thought that was a lovely conversation between a grandmother and a granddaughter. And once again, the support was incredible
I
for
brought a
Brook
tear to
Lynn.
my eye twice, I think.
Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
That's what happens when I look at a sugar bush harlequin. Brings a
I was
tear to
gonna
my eye.
say, you're mocking me for crying at some real emotion.
Yeah, I mean, that was just lovely. Like
Mhm.
she couldn't control Tracy couldn't control her tears. She
Yeah,
was
yeah.
losing
Mhm,
it, thinking of this poor bewildered high school age girl going through
mhm,
this.
mhm.
And wouldn't you want that to be the reaction of any family member if you had to go to somebody with some
Yes,
huge thing that you were grappling with? Like, wouldn't
yes.
that be lovely? I don't think that's
Mhm.
probably the case in real
Probably
life,
not,
I
probably
don't know.
not. Right, right, yeah, and also, yeah, Tracy feeling heartbroken that Brooklyn didn't feel like she could tell her, but, obviously, Brooklyn at that point in her life, Tracy wasn't an option, I think their relationship was probably very different, or if there even was much of a
Was one, yeah, I don't
relationship,
even remember what. Yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah.
but then the very next day, the next episode,
Yeah, yeah.
the
Mhm,
mammoth epic fight between Lois
mhm.
and Tracy, where Tracy shows
Yeah,
off all her worst uh,
right. Mhm,
character flaws.
mhm,
Like
mhm.
how can we come to grips with the fact
Reconcile
that
that?
that's the same, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah,
same character.
right, right. Yeah, I was feeling that way too, that she did pretty much a complete about face, 'cause I mean, it just like, involving the Quartermaines, having it be like a whole, like, committee making decisions, on
Right.
Brooklyn's, that
Yeah.
nobody wants that, you know, even if everybody in the family was supportive of her, I don't think any kid would want all these people weighing in, you know.
Exactly, weighing in, and they would have just wanted to keep that baby because
They
it,
would have kept the baby. Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
have forced Brook Lynn to do what she clearly
Mhm.
said she was not uh,
Yeah.
capable or ready to
Mhm.
do at that point.
Yeah. Or
Um,
promised her like there'd be nannies so her life wouldn't
yeah,
have to change very much, but that would be, you know, kind of weird too, you know.
yeah. So I was totally with Lois on that whole thing, and I thought that actor did a great job in that scene
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
she just was very forceful in what she said, but she
Mhm.
wasn't. They weren't screaming, but
No, but they were
uh,
loud. There was just a
a
lot of
little
raised
loud, yeah.
voices. But I was
You've
thinking.
got a volume control on the.
That's true, that's true. Um, I was thinking though, like, I was with you and I was with Lois throughout that, but then in the back of my mind, I started thinking, well, she does know that Geo is the child
Right.
and that
Oh
Geo's
yeah.
right
Oh
smack
yeah.
in the middle of everybody, you know, so
Yeah. That is
she
going to be
kind
the
of is.
black mark on her for
Yeah, like
sure.
she's sort
Yeah.
of pretending like they spirited this child away, you know, very
Right.
carefully to a family, and you know, meanwhile she orchestrated the whole thing so that he'd be right there, you know, where she could see him
In the bosom of her
in the
family. Yes.
bosom, yeah, of Bensonhurst, yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Mhm.
I didn't like Lois's outfit. She's worn
The
an
necklace
ensemble like.
was too much for me.
Oh, the necklace was the only part I liked.
Get out of here.
Oh, but that whole like weird like golf blazer. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't that what's the thing you win? They give you that ugly
Yeah,
blazer.
yeah, uh-huh, a couple of tournaments have a jacket, yeah, mhm,
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
I can't get behind golf. Don't they just shoot them when they break an ankle or something?
That would make it a lot more interesting.
It really would, wouldn't it? I might start
Imagine.
watching.
What
Stakes
would
were a
they
little
have to
higher
do
like
to
that,
make what would they have to do to get shot, do you think? Like, bogey a hole, maybe?
Maybe they were just kind of randomly people target practicing while they're playing or something.
Yeah, have, like, a shooting range next door.
My grandmother used to watch golf all the time, and I think kind of like you because she thought it was sort of soothing,
Mhm, mhm.
and who was the like I think he's still alive. That kind of loud, obnoxious, rednecky blonde guy.
Oh, John
Uh,
Daly? Mhm,
yeah. Oh,
mhm.
she was just up in arms about him, and
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I thought he was funny. I thought like
Yeah.
kind of shake up that sport needs.
Yeah, he's like
But
the one who wants to ride the golf cart, from hole to hole and not walk like everybody else with a cigarette hanging out of his
yeah,
mouth. Yeah.
that's so funny. I just remember her just being like, oh, just incensed about him being allowed to be out.
Well, it's perplexing because it makes you wonder, so do you have to be in good shape to play golf or not?
No,
You
I
know?
don't think you do. Anyway, but yeah, that green jacket with the weird, like, sort of sport pants with the
Crest or what, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and all of
Mhm.
it was just bad and wrong.
Bad and wrong. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just feel like it kind of is a little bit like we've said about, Ava, when you see Ava in a
Mhm.
lovely scene with Trina, and she's so
Mhm.
wise and she's so
Yeah.
kind and she's so
Yeah.
maternal
Deliberate.
even,
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
calm. And then you see
Mhm.
Ava like cooking up blackmail with Rick or whatever, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be a stretch to see her, like, to start, like, snorting cocaine or something sometimes, you know, she looks like she could just be like a
Ava?
yeah, like a few doors
Yeah,
down from that sort of behavior, you know?
yeah. Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
like she's so wise and then she turns around and like bonks Nicholas on the head with a little statue,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess it's always hard to give yourself sage advice. But
That's true. That's true. But
anyway, I just found it like where's the kind, supportive, lovely
mhm.
Tracy that was here 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, and Brook Lynn wouldn't wanna see her talking to her mom that way.
No, no, that would be very upsetting. And the
Yeah.
whole like just hatred of Lois forever thing. Like, why?
Yeah.
Just because he's a snob?
Right, and it seemed like they had had a sort of a better working relationship lately, up
Yeah,
until this news, so, Tracy, that's
yeah.
all gone now, you know?
I feel like they kind of like flip Tracy around just to their own
Mhm.
purposes sometimes on
Yeah,
the
I
show,
think you're
like
right. Yeah, she doesn't need to be that extreme for her to be, a
to still be a
multifaceted
badass,
character.
just
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. She
yeah,
could wrestle with that a little bit more instead of just, like, going full on,
yeah.
attack
Um,
mode.
so that was disturbing to me. Another disturbing storyline ongoing is the thumb drive, the great
I didn't
thumb
know what
drive.
you were gonna say, and I was like, "What, where's the thumb? What are you talking about?"
The thumb drive story, which somebody online pointed
Yeah.
out, like thumb drives aren't even a thing anymore. I'm like, oh, I hadn't even like learned to use them yet. You know, like I
So
missed
now you
the
can
thumb
breathe a
drive
sigh of
era
relief. I don't know,
completely.
I think they still are used sometimes. Definitely they
Yeah.
are. They are, yeah.
Okay. Do
And
you
I
use
would
them in
think
like do you use them in a work setting or something? Like when you
you
use a
could,
thumb
like,
drive?
yeah, for a work thing, we had to send in a thumb drive to, a company that requested records in that
Like
format.
physically mail a
Yeah,
thumb drive.
yeah,
How
uh-huh.
do you get a box that small?
You know those little match boxes? You just get one of
Yeah, you just
those.
wrap those up. You
But,
picture like a little mouse just wrapping a little tiny. Okay, so well
uh
that invalid
But I guess we
point
don't
then
have
that
to debate that really, yeah, um, it was a little clumsy, the whole thing, because it seems like I don't know, it wouldn't be that much of it's like the ketamine thing, like, it's not gonna be that hard to trace back who might have had their hands on it and
yeah.
corrupted it,
And it would have been so much more natural if Joss had simply dropped that thumb drive
Yeah,
onto that blanket
yeah,
and let
exactly.
her think it dropped out of let, Emma think it
Mhm,
just dropped out of her pocket or
mhm.
whatever. But
Exactly, my thoughts too, yeah, mhm.
and also I thought it was klutzy the way we haven't figured out the guy's name yet, right? John Claude Van Damme
Van
or
Damme.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Let's just call him Claude,
Claude,
okay.
okay. Um But anyway, so like Friday, I think he shows up, and nobody
Mhm,
knows him,
mhm.
but at that point they're prepared to go swim with him.
Right.
Like they kind of ask who he is, and nobody ever answered. Like
No, they didn't even
till
get his name, did
today,
they? Did they get
yeah.
his
And then
name today?
I don't know if they got a name, but it was just like Joss was saying she'd seen him around campus, and
Yeah, yeah, uh-huh.
um,
And did Emma look at him in a lustful way, did you think?
oh, I didn't notice that. You thought that happened?
Well, I was hoping not, but she sort of, like, made it a point of, like, showing that he got her attention,
Oh, she was being very flirty with Geo.
yeah, yeah, so I mean, I don't know, I think I support that relationship now at this point.
She and Geo.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, me
yeah,
too. We're
mhm,
okay with that. These 2 old
yeah.
ladies are okay with that, if
So,
anybody cares.
you have our blessing.
But yeah, it's amazing to me once again how much I like this Emma character now when I
Yeah,
hated her so much initially, and now they're making her so sympathetic and so
yeah, like, she's got integrity and,
she's got integrity, she's got this drive to get this job,
mhm,
and I like her
mhm,
ambition,
mhm, mhm,
and
yep,
I don't know. I just she's
mhm.
very like kind of open and with her
Mhm.
emotions and
Yeah, yeah, mhm.
quite likable. And so they're laying it on really thick with she and Joss and growing
They
closer.
are. She's
And
been very, very kind to Joss lately,
yeah, and the
and,
heartbreak is going to be immense.
immense, immense. Especially, yeah, if Joss does get the job, which of course she will, then it'll be like, "Wow, what happened?" You know? Um,
Yeah, it's gonna be awful, and I
mhm.
don't like I don't like the relationship between Joss and Claude. Still, they're still like
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that like snarky sexual
Mhm.
tension thing that's not really working
Not
to
working
me.
for me either. No,
I also
no.
don't like that everybody's leaving their solo cups all over that beach.
Yeah. Yeah, there were it was a messy, messy bonfire party, wasn't it? Lots
Um,
lots going wrong there.
when did the solo cup come into existence? Like when we were high school
Mm.
age, were there parties with solo cups, or what were we drinking out of?
Uh, well, you apparently were drinking out of anything. I'm just kidding.
I
You
didn't really
just
go to too many like actual parties. I was really
No, I
quite the
never
nerd,
I was
but
trying so hard to go to a party, and unless they
yeah,
were
like I
yeah.
remember like sort of senior year trying to go around to stuff with my couple of
Mhm.
nerdy girlfriends and being
Mhm.
so out of place and
Oh, yeah, same.
awkward and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Uh,
everybody at that point was just drinking out of beer cans and
I
stuff. I
think
don't
so
remember,
too. Yeah, I think
you
you're
know,
right, but must have been in the '80s maybe when the Solo
the
Cup
solo
sometime
cup,
in the '80s, yeah.
and now they have country songs all about it and everything.
Yeah, there's a whole it's a like a cultural it's like a
It kind of is, yeah.
iconic sort of
When did the solo cup?
that's some
When was the
good
solo
research.
cup invented?
Your search
Well, the Solo
history is
Cup company was founded in 1936.
sure,
Paper
was that
cone cups. But
okay, yeah.
the plastic Solo Cup was patented in 76.
Okay, alright.
Uh,
So, yeah,
so I guess they could have
probably
been around, yeah.
mhm, mm.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean. I don't know, like, if holding one makes you, like, express something about your politics or whatever, I wouldn't know exactly what you're
No, I didn't know
getting
that. Is
into.
that a
Yeah.
thing? Do people
I don't
communicate with their
know.
solo cups?
I'm
Huh.
not sure. I'm just guessing at that
Okay.
because it's in a country song, but I don't know
Oh, I
exactly.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, right. Well, do you okay, so getting back to that, scene at the beach and, what's his name? Rocco. Rocco's so funny because he's such an introvert, and I guess that's how they want him to be, like, not smiling, like, just this stoic
Yeah.
person, you know?
Yeah.
And actually, that's probably how I was in high school because people teased me a lot about being shy, so maybe that was what I was looking like also, but, it's just funny to see him not even able to smile at like, when the girls are talking to them and stuff, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh yeah. I thought that was pretty well done. I feel like
Yeah,
these are a
yeah.
believable batch of teenagers, these two boys,
Yeah,
and
yeah, and Danny sort of, like,
yeah.
wanting to have a sort of a drinking buddy and stuff, you know, and
Yeah, and Danny's a little more cool and comfortable with the whole scene
mhm,
and
mhm,
yeah. And it's all very
yeah.
believable. I'm more Rocco. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
definitely,
also
I would've
Rocco, just awkward
mhm,
and
mhm. Yeah,
yep,
passed out
very
in
shy.
the sand.
Yeah, well, that would have been the thing too. I would have also been,
Mhm.
yeah, I would have been shy and awkward, but I also would have like had way too much to drink or to whatever to compensate,
Uh-huh, yeah,
or to try
yeah,
and impress somebody with my coolness, and then I would have.
right.
I never had to have my stomach pumped, but
No, no, me neither.
to my credit,
I'm so proud of you.
probably would have been a bad idea a few times, uh, but
Uh, in the scenes from the next episode, it looked like Dante was yelling at Gio, right? Like, trying to
yes,
say it was
yes.
his fault, so I don't know if we missed something like that was said, like,
Uh,
it
I
but
I think it's just plot. It's just because
yeah,
they're setting
yeah,
us up for him to feel
mhm,
so bad when he finds
yeah,
out that he is his
yeah,
son. and
Yeah,
they'll,
but
have
poor
this wedge
Geo
between them.
is
Yeah,
yeah, it's like one of those instances where no good
yeah,
deed goes unpunished, like Geo's
right, right.
helping these
Yeah,
fellas out and then he
Cody
gets
was likable throughout.
Yep,
He's like
yep, mhm.
the loyal, stable hand that comes to the rescue.
Yeah, I was so afraid that Geo was gonna leave Rocco alone and go look for his
I
phone and
know.
then
I was like, you don't leave somebody alone, they're gonna choke on they're gonna do a Jim
yeah.
Morrison or something, and
Yeah, so I was glad we didn't have to, like,
yeah,
wrestle with that for more than a second before Cody
yeah.
showed up,
It does feel like, pace-wise, which we've complained about in the
Mhm,
past, I feel like
mhm.
things are kind of moving along at a good clip
Yeah,
right now.
I think so too, yeah, I'm glad they're not forcing us to agonize over too many things at once, because
Yeah.
that's we
So
don't need
now we'll
any
all be
more.
gathered at the hospital. But I wonder if the plot whisperer was correct about this. Like, I don't know,
Mm,
can you lose an organ over alcohol poisoning? I have no idea.
hmm.
Maybe.
I don't know if you would really that it would be your liver, right? I don't think any maybe a kidney. Uh, Not sure,
Big
but
toe, something. But I'm just trying to imagine what kind of trouble he could
yeah,
get in health wise that would mean
right, right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
let's Google. How serious is alcohol poisoning?
Yeah. And while you're
It'll be
doing
like,
that,
don't drink anything today, you stupid woman. Um
why do you Google that every day?
uh loss of
uh,
consciousness, potentially fatal blood alcohol, risk of coma and death from respiratory arrest. That's what I thought.
right.
But
Yeah. Okay. So he's breathing. He
yeah,
was having breathing difficulties.
yeah.
Hmm.
However, death is not the only. Well, yeah, okay. I don't know, but like, I guess I need to put in, can alcohol poisoning
Cause
lead to?
organ failure.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. Bear with us, everyone.
Sorry, we're googling.
We're googling.
How did we live without all this good stuff?
I think we were
Oh
fine.
yeah,
I think we would have just filled the silence with more
well,
information about General Hospital.
but it can lead to organ failure. Multiple organs can be acutely or chronically affected. So
Mhm.
okay, so
Yeah.
that might be what they're leading towards.
Yeah, I guess that could occur just in one episode of drinking, not just like, what happens over time if you drink regularly too much. You
I
know what I
guess
mean?
so. I guess it's just
Mm,
literally the amount of alcohol you get in your down your pie
yeah.
hole.
Pie hole. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I
I
mean, you could have
want
chronic problems, of course, from
yeah. Mhm.
yeah.
Hmm. That would be sort of weird if, like, just as Lulu's, getting her feet under her from her coma, Rocco goes into a coma.
Oh,
For so long, he
yeah,
wanted her to wake up, and now he's asleep. Sheesh, life is cruel, pal.
yeah. But
Uh,
I mean, I think they're doing a good job with this little story. But
mhm.
I hate that little teen story because you knew something bad was going to happen to these boys.
Yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
oh, my heart
Yeah.
sinks seeing it. And
I know, 'cause, yeah, they're sweet boys,
they're
just wanna have
sweet
some
boys, and
fun.
teenagers and teenage boys in particular are so stupid, and
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And I did so many stupid things, so I knew it was coming. I knew some
Yep,
stupid
yeah.
crap was coming.
Yeah.
And
I know, you just had to watch it.
yeah, yeah. But
Mm.
anyway, okay. What else do we have?
Oh, well, I wanted to talk about our friend Brad and
Oh
Portia.
yeah, Brad and Portia had a little set
Mhm.
two, or whatever you call it. Yeah,
Yeah, they did. That was mean. That was mean. Well, I guess he didn't play that very well.
mean on Portia's part to.
Yeah, of course, she wasn't gonna continue to let Brad, I guess, blackmail her, but, I don't know, it just really it really sort of backfired on him, didn't it?
It did, but I was thinking, what would anybody think Brad's motivation would be for
Yeah.
doing that? Because I was like, is there some connection between Brad and Drew that I don't remember? I just
Mm,
thought, no, why would anybody think that Brad? out of the blue
Mhm.
would do that.
Yeah, I think he probably could have called her bluff, but it might have just wound up implicating both of them because he was the one who got the ketamine, so
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
sort of be taking himself down too. But yeah,
But
poor
he
Brad.
immediately went to Drew, so we're.
Yeah, but before that, he saw Lucas, and
Oh, right. Sharing some
so he
chips.
was just having a fucking day, and I think that's what kind
Yeah.
of propelled him
He
towards
was having
Drew.
a fucking day, and yeah.
Yeah,
And sharing chips is big. Like, I don't share chips,
Oh, that's
you know?
I know, that's huge. I'd give somebody my PIN for my ATM card before I shared chips with them.
Chips, yeah. One of my friends posted something on Facebook about, like, why don't they give chip, like, clips with bags of chips? Because, and I wrote, like, because they know I'm going to eat the whole bag. Like, what
Yeah,
is the, I've never
why
even
would you be
pondered
sealing
that.
up
Yeah.
an empty bag?
Yeah.
To hold your hair back while you're
Or
eating the bag of
yeah,
chips?
she was talking about how some bags now are like they have some like kind of tape seal thing, so you can shut them again. And like, wouldn't that be good if chips had that? And I was like, no, that would be quite
You're
pointless.
hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. What are you, all fucking lightweight? Can't eat a bag of chips?
Oh, dear.
Anyway, yeah. So that was sad to see Brad down in the dumps again.
Yeah, but good to see him maybe well, he's not gonna be sticking it to Drew, is he? He's just gonna be squeezing him for money
I guess, yeah. I guess that's
or some
or would
sort of
it be
other favor.
something, yeah, some sort of like hospital job favor or something, or get rid of Portia, or who knows, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Drew's gonna want to get rid of Portia anyway, but
oh, if Drew goes back at Portia now, man, she's gonna be,
yeah,
totally cornered and desperate
yeah.
because she is really, really fucked up now,
She is
you
in
know?
it now. I think Terry is gonna be alone in that
Yeah.
position real
The
soon.
helm, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
what about poor Curtis? He's not gonna I mean, this is gonna just devastate him, and, I don't think she can come back from this one. Poor
Um,
Curtis.
I don't that characteristic of I feel like Curtis kind of set that up for himself. Like, if you're with somebody and
Mhm.
you say to them something about, like, you give them this ultimatum and then you sort of force them to, I don't know. I don't like the way Curtis like holds this standard and like, I'm the one in charge of this relationship. If you do this, that's it. Um,
Well, I don't has he been like that, for a while? It seems like they were sort of
no,
on
but
more
that's what
equal footing.
she's like, hasn't, like, she's keeping her true like nature
Yeah,
completely.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not a good relationship if you can't be
No,
who you
it's
are.
not. Right, and
Uh,
I think she didn't she didn't wanna test the waters or give him enough credit for maybe accepting her as she was, by telling him that she was being blackmailed or whatever. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but,
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I don't know.
I think the fact that she was willing to basically poison someone is gonna be hard for Curtis to overlook.
I think Curtis is more upset about lying about poisoning somebody than about the actual poisoning.
Well, that's a good point, maybe that's true. Huh,
I think
yeah.
he's got this like kind of
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to say stick up his butt exactly, but
Mhm.
like, he's got these, like, I've got these high moral standards, and
Yeah, yeah,
like,
mhm,
Jordan kept a secret from him, and that's why they
mhm,
broke up, and
mhm,
then Portia
mhm,
had kept the secret, and they weathered that storm, but
mhm.
um I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's just a little it's a little, I don't know, I always go back to like some kind of feminist rant, but it feels sort of
mhm,
patriarchal to me
mhm,
that he's
mhm,
like the one who sets the rules for the relationship, and
mhm,
therefore Portia like kind of can't be who she is, and she
mhm.
gets all twisted and dark and does all this shitty stuff.
Well, I see your point, but it kind of seems like his standard is honesty, and that's what her standard should be also, right? I mean,
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like me with the Brad and Lucas thing. It's like,
uh-huh.
um,
Yeah.
like Brad is Brad, and he's
Yeah.
got shady in his blood. He's
Yeah.
just
He's a
like
messy guy.
he's a messy guy, and his impulse might be to do the crappy thing.
Mhm.
Um, and if you make somebody feel bad about kind of who they are,
Mhm. Yeah,
they're
yeah.
never gonna
Yeah.
feel like they have the room to
Right.
go the other way, or whatever. They're just
Mhm.
gonna get more and more concealed about their behavior,
Yeah, yeah.
and it may
Right.
just be that it's a mismatch from the beginning. That
Right, right, there's that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
um, but whatever it is, I like this Portia better than
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like dark, twisted, bad decision Portia.
And it does sort of make the Curtis Jordan, like, couple look like they're more well suited
More,
to each other. Like the way they're talking to each other, the way they were like hanging out at the Savoy,
yeah,
it seemed
yeah,
like they were kind of like equals, right? And he wasn't
yeah.
really trying to tell her what to do, he was sort of like
But
acknowledging what was
would he, if
missing.
they were married again? Like, would he just feel the need to like mansplain?
I don't I hope not. I like Curtis.
I like Curtis too, but I think they make him a little bit of a mansplaining bro at times.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Those are harsh words, Gia.
It may be what I bring to the table that causes me to have these opinions. Maybe issues I have.
Well, I mean,
I'm,
I guess that would be also the true of what's his Isaiah with Jordan, basically having trouble with her calling the shots in her life.
yeah, like just because
Um,
you're with somebody doesn't mean they get to,
well,
you
it's
know.
a thin line, I think, between trying to control someone and just being concerned about somebody.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And being like, I mean, I think you can, in a relationship, you can probably say that these are things that I'm uncomfortable with. And so if these are important in your life, maybe we shouldn't, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
right.
it never happens that way. It always like happens later after people have had,
Mhm. That's right. Yeah.
four kids and whatever.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you realize like, oh, we have completely different,
Uh-huh.
values or whatever,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough,
But
but
I just think ultimatums are never a good way to
right. Right. That's
have
true.
a relationship.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Gia.
And you can have guidelines and rules like don't touch my chips or you're out of the house.
You can drug people, but don't you dare touch my chips.
You can drug people, but don't lie about drugging people. That's the important part.
Tell me if you're gonna drug someone.
I'll help you.
I'll think through the plan a little bit more
Yeah.
thoroughly than your
I know. I
partner
mean,
there.
if I looked at a transcript of what I'd said, I think I probably sound pretty twisted in my reasoning, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're
But
still bringing up Jagger. You still hold on to the wrong that was done Jagger.
well, yeah, and the fact that nobody cares, they just like moved on. I mean, Austin as well, whatever.
What
Cyrus,
what
anybody care what
it
happened
would
to
have been
Cyrus?
interesting if somehow this drug had been missed, the dosage had been off and it had wound up killing him. How would you feel like anybody was really guilty
Mm,
because nobody would miss him, right?
um, oh no, I'd feel like they were guilty. Yeah. Uh, no, I would feel like they were guilty, but yeah, maybe the rest of the town would just breathe a sigh of relief. I don't know.
And they
Poor
wouldn't
Willow. Imagine
investigate
how
too hard.
Yeah, imagine what that would do to Willow's,
Oh boy, yeah.
stance.
If she saw
He'd be like
everybody
a total
just like
hero. Yeah,
partying in the
yeah.
street, yeah. Poor
He is
Willow.
making a good bad guy, though. I mean, he was so
Mhm.
like amped, like hunting down
Mhm.
Mac, and I'm gonna tell you about a
Yeah.
crime, and
Yeah.
like he had a vein standing out in his head. That
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
acting.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Man, I imagine Nina getting or Portia, both of them. If well, Brad doesn't know about Nina's role, right? He just knows
I don't think
Portia.
so. I think he just knows Portia.
So
Yeah.
Portia's gonna get the brunt of Drew's wrath.
Yeah.
Man.
We got some fireworks coming. I think this is gonna be
Yeesh.
good.
And you know how he is with fireworks. There's gonna be smooching then.
Oh, that makes sexy time happen. Yeah, that's right.
Oh gosh.
Oh, okay. We should probably quit. So I've had
Yeah.
a lot of questionable moral statements today. Um,
We'll try to strike those from the record.
yeah, but we do appreciate you listening,
Yeah.
and don't forget to look up the Sugar Bush Harlequin draft course if you
Harley the Magnificent. Yeah.
Harley, yeah, and Harley the Harlequin, and you'll see what a handsome, chunky fella this guy is, and I don't know, I think you'll be pleased.
I don't know how to respond to that.
We can just sign off, and we'll,
I should have
I'll try to get
I
over
should
this
have
by
just hit
Thursday.
stop as soon as you said, "I think you'll be pleased." Cut.
I'll try to get over my obsession by Thursday.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
All right.
Gia.
Well, thanks for listening, and I hope everybody has a good night. You included.
You too, Gia.
Okay. See ya.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.